Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero podcast, the show where I cover the least in the best way possible. I'm your host, Jason Wells. Today is Friday, November 7th. Today is the day I actually get to talk about all of the trades that went down. I'm happy we're at a point now with the NFL and with the GMs that actually are willing to make moves. I remember trade deadlines like a decade ago where nothing happened. Every GM was so, I gotta keep my own picks because you never know, instead of trading them for useful, good, talented players that can help them in the now and make a playoff push. It's, again, GMs are becoming better, more tactful anyways. Bills GM Brandon Beane disagreed a little bit. He basically said that a lot of these younger GMs are kind of like treating it like fantasy football where you got to make moves. You do have to make moves. You should be making moves, especially a few of these teams. But again, we're going to be talking about all of these trades that have happened over the past week, essentially, in NFL Weekly Update, and then obviously be previewing the upcoming Week 10 games. Can't believe we're already on the 10th week of the season. I mean, fantasy playoffs are almost here. Football season always goes by way too fast, way too fast, but I guess let's get right into this. Oh yeah, and Blind Thursday Night Football recap, of course, but let's get into the NFL Weekly Update first. Starting off with the biggest trade of the day, Sauce Gardner gets traded to the Colts for a 26th and 27th first round picks and A.D. Mitchell. We'll start off with the Colts side of things, start off with the guy actually, the team acquiring the player. Colts GM Chris Ballard has never been shy about trading away his picks, whether it be for Carson Wentz or DeForest Buckner, or there's a few other examples in there too, but this is a move that the Colts didn't need to make, but I think they see this window opening in the AFC to be like, we're right there with the Bills, with the Chiefs, with the Broncos, I guess, with the Patriots. Like, this Colts team is very good, and for the last few weeks now, they've been without their number one corner, Charvarius Ward, who's trying to come back from a concussion that he suffered in pregame warmups, which was just nuts. But now they get Sauce Gardner. They get Sauce still on his rookie deal. He just signed a big extension this summer. He will be on this team for the foreseeable future. And Sauce Gardner is a hell of a player. So again, still on his rookie deal, multi-time All-Pro, multi-time Pro Bowler, top 5 corner in the league, in my opinion anyways. And yeah, once Charvarius Ward does get back, all of a sudden, yeah, this Colts secondary looks like one of the best in the league. I mean, just that corner trio of Sauce Gardner, Charvarius Ward, and then Kenny Moore manning like the nickel. That's very good. Like, that's very, very good. Not to mention, I mean, the linebackers they have, just that front four. That defense all of a sudden is looking primed and really good. And on top of, we already know what the offense is. And if Daniel Jones can just limit the turnovers, there's no reason why the Colts can't be contenders this year. Again, is it a lot to give up? Of course it is. But it's for Sauce Gardner. It is for one of the best corners in the league, one of the still young corners of the league. The last 2 years have been relatively down for his first 2 years in the league, but regardless, Sauce is great. Great move by the Colts. I guess we'll see in hindsight of what their picks actually end up being, but I, for one, am a fan of this deal for the Colts. The Jets on the other side. Tough trade to make, but again, when you're getting offered 2 first-round picks and A.D. Mitchell, it's hard to turn down, and I think that clearly Sauce wasn't a player that they wanted to give away. I mean, I talked about in the summer how, maybe with this new Jets regime, they start maybe shipping out these high marquee players, Sauce being one of them, and they chose to give him a big extension, which is like, okay, cool, great. Like, Sauce is now here. He's going to be part of this part of this core that like rebuilds this team. But yeah, again, when you get offered 2 first-round picks, and the Jets are very far away from being a contender. I mean, we just look at that offense. I mean, right now the offense isn't looking terrible anyways on paper, and again, a lot can be done with these first-round picks, and now that defense needs to be completely rebuilt, because the next trade we'll talk about, Quinnen Williams, again, a substantial move, and I think that I'll save most of my Jets stuff. Again, like, tough to lose Sauce Gardner, but when that's the price, you kind of got to... I will talk about A.D. Mitchell a little bit, though. A.D. Mitchell drafted 52nd overall in the 2024 draft. Very, very, very talented player. Unfortunately for him, he was just in one of the most talented wide receiver rooms in the league. Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, they all had their role, and A.D. Mitchell trying to crack into that. It wasn't happening. Not to mention Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Ward now. Like, there is a pecking order in the weapons list, and A.D. Mitchell was right down there at the bottom. So he gets a chance where he is clearly the number 2 wide receiver for the Jets. It's Garrett Wilson, and then it's A.D. Mitchell. A.D. Mitchell has all the opportunities in the world now. Now, unfortunately, Justin Fields will be throwing him the ball. But again, this is his opportunity to shine, his opportunity to show that he is an NFL wide receiver. I remember during his rookie season last year, he was getting open. It was just bad quarterback play from Anthony Richardson that just kept missing him wide open. And then this year, we obviously know he made that incredible catch running down the sideline and then just kind of drops the ball. Ball goes out of the end zone, touchback, and cost the Colts the game there. I do think A.D. Mitchell is good. I think this is, again, good for the Jets to do anyways. I'm talking about another trade that the Jets made. Quinnen Williams goes to the Cowboys for a 26 second, a 27 first, and Mozzie Smith. Again, talk about the Cowboys first. Quinnen Williams is fantastic. Quinnen Williams is one of the better defensive tackles in this league. He has been a great run stopper this year, and that's something that the Cowboys absolutely need, is be able to stop that run. Now, him and Kenny Clark in there, that's a very good interior duo. He also adds that pass rush element that Kenny Clark doesn't. So again, it's a good move. However, in the grand scheme of everything, that Micah Parsons trade now looks much worse, where essentially now the Micah Parsons trade was Micah Parsons for Quinnen Williams and 27. How am I doing this? No. So they traded away. So now they only have 127 first, because it's basically whatever worst pick of the Cowboys, of the Packers, that's what's going to the Jets here. And then they traded away their 2026 second, which, yeah, the difference between where that Packers pick is going to be and where the Cowboys' second round pick is going to be, a 15 spot difference, maybe 15 to 20 spot difference. Like, yeah, you traded up into the first round, but I don't know. It makes the Micah deal look, much less. We just saw what Sauce went for, where Sauce essentially went for the same package, obviously a little bit different because A.D. Mitchell, not the same caliber of player as Kenny Clark is. But the difference between Sauce Gardner and Micah Parsons is crazy. And I shouldn't be talking about that deal because we are talking about the Cowboys, but this deal also it makes sense for the Cowboys while also making no sense. Because, yeah, now all of a sudden, okay, that defensive line's looking a little bit better. Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark on the interior, Clowney, Donovan, and Ezraku on the edge, and Ezraku's been playing really good ball. And it's like, okay, like that's looking pretty good. They had Logan Wilson. I'll talk about them in a minute. Doesn't really matter, though. But that secondary is so bad. And that secondary isn't going to stop anyone. And yeah, the pass rush might be better. The run stuffing might be better. But it's still not great. It's still not like, oh, now adding Quinnen Williams, that front seven is now like a top 5, top 10 unit in the league. It's not. And that secondary is one of the worst in the league. They decided to give a lot of money to Trayvon Diggs, who just hasn't been playing, and he's been bad anyways. They decided to give a lot of money to Deron Bland. Hasn't been good. And yeah, maybe that money could have been used to Micah Parsons, and maybe, you trade your first round pick and that second for Quinnen Williams, and then you have a defense with like Micah Parsons and Quinnen Williams on it. I don't know. That sounds a lot better to me. But the Cowboys just seem like they're spinning their wheels a little bit. Jerry's trying to make something stick after the Micah trade, and while I think this is a good-ish trade, I still don't understand the Cowboys' need to make this and to make that big of a splash. Anyways, doesn't matter. Quinnen Williams, a great player, but at the end of the day, not great. Not a great trade process, just with everything that's happened with the Cowboys. Now on to the Jets. Now the Jets, in the next 2 drafts, have their own first-round pick, this year, the Colts' first-round pick this year, and the Cowboys' second-round pick this year. And then next year, they have their own first-round pick, the Cowboys' first-round pick, and the Colts' first-round pick. The Jets are primed to hit this rebuild hard. And, again, as a Dolphins fan, it worries me. However, the Jets were in that opportunity a few years ago in 2021, 2022, where, again, I can say that they hit on most of those picks anyways, but obviously here they are doing another rebuild a few years later. But this time things are a little bit different for these Jets, where if they end up taking Fernando Mendoza as the first QB off the board this year, Mendoza's now going into a spot where, okay, their tackles are set up. That offensive line is actually pretty good. It looks like Breece Hall is going to stay there. I have no idea. But if he does, okay, the running back's good. Now, you still have a number 1 weapon in Garrett Wilson. Maybe A.D. Mitchell turns into something. All of a sudden, the bones of that offense is looking pretty good for a rookie QB to step into. Now, the defense needs a ton of work, and we'll see what Aaron Glenn can do. And that's something that Aaron Glenn did with the Lions last year, is he was a floor raiser for that team. Didn't matter the injuries that was happening, they always played hard at the end of the day. And I think that's something that the Jets, at least the last few weeks anyways, that defense has been playing hard. Now we'll see what happens. They just lost their 2 best players on that defense, so we'll see what happens anyways. But yeah, the Jets have set themselves up really nicely. And again, 2 first-round picks for Sauce. That is enough. I mean, Quinnen Williams was looking for more money, but it's I think that it was the right time to move off of him, getting those additional picks. And now, Jets GM Darren Muji is set up really, really well for this rebuild. And we'll see how he does. Again, we won't know until these picks are made and how everything turns out, but Jets fans can't be unhappy with these moves. I mean, I'm sure that they can, because, losing guys like Quinnen and Sauce Gardner, who, you thought were your cornerstone building pieces, who are great players. Losing great players always sucks, but now you can be a little more optimistic, into the future, maybe, slightly. I don't know. We'll keep going, though. Actually, I'll just bring up Mozzie Smith a little bit. Mozzie Smith, super athletic, first-round pick by the Cowboys a few years ago, who just hasn't really amounted to anything. I don't know. Maybe a change of scenery. He gets that going. He is a very, very athletic, big man, but just hasn't really shown that in the NFL yet. So maybe a change of scenery is what he needs. I don't know. We'll keep going, though. Miami trades Jalen Phillips to the Eagles for a 3rd-round pick. Again, start with the Eagles side of things. The Eagles have desperately needed a pass rusher. Nolan Smith is coming back off IR in the next couple weeks. Obviously, Brandon Graham came out of retirement, but they have needed someone on that edge to be that guy. And Jalen Phillips is that guy. Unfortunately for Phillips, he's had an injury-riddled football career so far. That's possible to say football career and not just NFL career, because he did medically retire when he was at UCLA, or when he was at Miami, then went back to UCLA, and then obviously a first-round draft pick, and he's had a very good start to his career. The last 2 years, again, ACL injury, Achilles injury, it's never great, but Jalen Phillips is a physical freak. He is, if you just look at him, that's how you want your edges built today in the NFL. And yeah, Jalen Phillips playing next to Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. I would be worried if I was an opposing offense now going against the Eagles. They added Nolan Smith again soon, who I thought Nolan Smith was kind of going to have a breakout year. That Super Bowl run that the Eagles had, Nolan Smith was a huge part of that. And when he comes back, all of a sudden I think the Eagles have one of the best pass rushers again. Jalen Phillips said He doesn't want to be anywhere else. Vic Fangio is one of his favorite coaches ever. They reunite there. Yeah, I'm happy for Jalen Phillips. I'm happy that he's on a winning team. It does suck. I was literally wearing my Jalen Phillips jersey a couple weeks ago, and now I don't even know what to do with that jersey. Like, I can't sell it. I mean, I guess I could sell it, but like, who wants a Jalen Phillips jersey? Like, really? I don't know how we did it again. And at the end of the day, if Jalen Phillips plays really, really well this back half of the season, he's due for a big contract extension, which will essentially net the Eagles a third-round comp pick. So maybe traded him away for, or traded that third away for, again, a future third. It's not bad. Jalen Phillips will definitely help the Eagles in the short term. Miami on the other side, a move that needed to be made. Obviously, I wish Miami made more moves. I think that Chubb, Minka, I don't think it would have mattered. Whatever they got offered, they should have been offloaded from the roster because they're not helping this year. And we need picks for the future because we are also in a rebuilding era right now. Yeah, I'm going to miss Jalen Phillips, but again, adding a third-round pick, which I think brings us up now to 3 third-round picks for us in the 2026 draft. It's ammo. It's ammo to move up. It's ammo to just stay put and just have a bunch of dart throws at the board and hoping that a bunch of them land. Yeah, it's unfortunate because I'm talking about Miami. Miami did fire their GM, Chris Grier, before the trade deadline, so Chris Grier did not make this this trade. I think Champ someone. I really don't care who our interim GM is right now. But yeah, he was the one who made that made that move. I wish that he made more move. But yeah, Chris Grier, I mean, after spending nearly 2 decades with the Dolphins, is now gone. He's been our GM since 2016, but didn't get full control of the team really until 2019. And yeah, you can say he mismanaged some things. I don't think he drafted as poorly as people want to like really point out. Yes, there's some clear misses with like Noah Igbenogany, even Austin Jackson a little bit. Again, I wish that we traded up, like instead of using that late first round pick, I wish that we traded. I think Austin Jackson was taken somewhere around 17, but I don't know. We traded up ahead of the Bucks and we could have got Tristan Wirfs or something like that. I digress. Like the Liam Eichenberg pick was bad, but like letting Robert Hunt go, giving Ramsey and Tyreek extensions when you really didn't need to, just bad GMing. And people like, we were like, oh, I can't believe Chris Grier got fired, and like not Mike McDaniel. Stephen A. Smith made it like a race issue, even though Mike McDaniel like is half black. I hate Stephen A. Smith. He's a fucking loser. But yeah, you don't get to be a GM of a team if you have been part of that organization for 2 decades, and in those 2 decades, they have never won a single playoff game. So Chris Grier does not deserve the benefit of the doubt. We'll keep going, though. The Saints trade Rashid Shaheed to the Seahawks for a 4th and a 5th round pick in this upcoming draft. Yeah, great move for the Seahawks. Great move by... Clearly, this was probably fueled a little bit by Clint Kubiak. Clint Kubiak, if you don't remember, was the Saints offensive coordinator last year. And for the first month of last season, holy shit, was that offense firing on all cylinders. And a big part of that was Rashid Shaheed taking the top off the defense. And now he gets to do it in Seattle, where Seattle's already had one of the best offenses in the league this year. And all this does is open things up a lot more for Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm very, very interested to see how Shaheed fits in this offense, even though I kind of already know how he's going to fit into this offense. I'm expecting, again, I already think that the Seahawks offense is really good. I'm expecting another step up in their level, though. I don't think this takes away anything from what JSN does. I just think that there will be more deep shots taken to Shaheed. I think this weekend anyways, I'll probably talk about it in the preview, but like take Shaheed, whatever his longest, like over for longest catch is, take him for a touchdown because he's going to score a long touchdown. At least that's my opinion anyways. Don't take my betting advice, but I'm a decently good sports gambler. Yeah, it's a very good move for the Seahawks. Obviously, Cooper Kupp is not Cooper Kupp anymore. He keeps just kind of falling down that depth chart. Torrey Horton has been like a nice rookie day 3 pick for them. But he's not Rashid Shaheed at this point. So again, step up in that receiver room for the Seahawks. Again, I think step up for this offense, and the Seahawks, who are one of my better teams right now in the league, they're making good moves. Saints on the other side. It's a fine move. Again, getting a 4th and a 5th round pick back. The Saints team, again, they need a lot. They need more picks. They need more ammo. So at the end of the day, can't be mad at it. However, you can be mad at the move because at the start of the season, Mickey Loomis traded away a 4th round pick and a 7th round pick for Devon Vele. So essentially, the Saints traded away Rashid Shaheed for Devon Vele. Devon Vele is also older than Rashid Shaheed, even though he is in his 2nd season in the league, while Shaheed's on his 4th, I believe. Regardless, Mickey Loomis is a bad GM, and he has been a bad GM for a while now. He was clinging to that 2017 draft for as long as he could, and the Saints are paying for it now. But yeah, Rashid Shaheed for Devon Vele, essentially. Bad GMing by Mickey Loomis there. Next move, we have Jakobi Meyers getting traded to the Jaguars for a 4th and a 6th round pick in this upcoming draft. It was never going to be, the Raiders clearly didn't want to extend Jakobi Meyers. Jakobi Meyers clearly didn't want to be there. We saw how just bad that offense was. It looked pretty good last week with Brock Bowers, but Brock Bowers was their guy, and Jakobi Meyers was kind of side piece, and this is a move that I think that the Jags needed to make if they wanted to stay competitive and potentially make the playoffs, maybe push for the division. I don't know. I think it's the Colts division to lose, definitely. But with Travis Hunter on IR, with Brian Thomas Jr. Being banged up, I think he rolled his ankle on Sunday too. Jakobi Meyers comes in and gives the Jags an immediate wide receiver 1 weapon for them, and that's something that they absolutely need right now. And we'll see how hard the transition is for Jakobi Meyers to, again, learn that system, get up and running, get on the same page as Trevor Lawrence. But Jakobi Meyers is a really good receiver. Again, he's not a top 10, he's not a top 20 receiver, but he's good. And him being potentially the number 1 target for this offense, again, I don't know how limited Brian Thomas Jr. is at the moment anyways, but it's a good trade for the Jags. And maybe, again, when BTJ gets a little more healthy, when Hunter comes back, Myers still there, it's all of a sudden looking like a very good wide receiver room, and maybe that helps the offense flourish just a little bit more. I don't know. We'll keep going. The Titans trade Draymond Jones to the Ravens for a conditional 5th round pick. I think the 5th can become a 4th with obviously whatever incentives they built in. It's a fine trade. It's a trade that the Ravens needed to make. They just need help, on that front 7 in general, and I don't know how much help Draymond Jones is really going to give them. He was on the Seahawks in that Mike Macdonald system, and Mike Macdonald was just you don't do what I want you to do in my system. And he goes to the Titans, and now he's back in that same system that Mike Macdonald runs, but now with the Ravens and Zach Orr, where clearly they have a little bit of a different vision for him, I guess, but it's a name more than anything. Will it help out? Yes, because the Ravens are just so depleted in their front 7. I don't think it's a big move, though, but it is, again, it's a something move for the Ravens, and hopefully Draymond Jones can kind of come back. He's played decently well the last couple weeks, and maybe he can kind of piece those games together and help that Ravens defense be a little bit more of a better unit. We'll see anyways. We'll keep going, though. Jair and a 7th go to the Eagles for a 6th round pick. Again, bit of a nothing move. Jair Alexander has been a healthy scratch, has barely played this year. But if he gets on the field, Jair is good enough anyways. He knows what he's doing out there anyways. He's not obviously the Jair from a couple years ago, but he's still, maybe he's solid again. And they're not relying on him to be corner number 1 or corner number 2, but as a depth piece at this point. And yeah, getting Jair for a 6th round pick, it's not a bad thing. Again, it's take a chance on him. Maybe he can help you out. Maybe he doesn't. At the end of the day, you gave up a 6th round pick. Doesn't really matter to you. So we'll see how it works out for the Eagles, I guess, anyways. Logan Wilson to the Cowboys. I touched on this briefly, but Logan Wilson to the Cowboys for a 7th round pick. Bit of a nothing burger. Obviously, the Cowboys need front 7 help in general. Logan Wilson wanted to change of scenery. Logan Wilson's a fine linebacker. He's an okay linebacker. The Cowboys do love their white linebackers, though. I will say that. I mean, going back to Sean Lee, to Leighton Vander Esch, and now we get Logan Wilson in there. I don't think it changes much, but, like, it's a move. It's an upgrade for them at linebacker, but, like, it's doesn't help out much anyways. John Mechie and a 6th round pick go to the Eagles for Michael Carter II and a 7th. Wait, no. It's John Mechie and a 6th to the Eagles. No. John Mechie and a 6th to the Jets for Michael Carter II and a 7th. So, more corner depth for the Eagles anyways. Michael Carter, again, he's been hurt, but when he has played, he's, again, pretty decent corner anyways. Eagles just adding corner depth. They've clearly thought that they need help in their secondary with those last couple moves. So Michael Carter, decent piece. And the Jets just need wide receivers. They traded for A.D. Mitchell. They get John Mechie now. And John Mechie's been like a serviceable receiver. But again, he's better than Josh Reynolds and Arian Smith. So is he better than A.D. Mitchell? I don't know. But now I like the Jets wide receiver group a hell of a lot more than I did a week ago. And it's still not very good. But it's still a hell of a lot better than it was a week ago anyways. Trevor Penning gets traded to the Chargers. I don't have the trade details down there. Obviously, the Chargers need offensive line help desperately. Trevor Penning, former first-round pick, never really worked out. Started playing some like okay football last year, but then obviously Saints drafted Kelvin Banks and Tali Fuaga, so those are their tackles now, and I don't know if they kick Penning on the interior, but now with Alt and Slater done for the year, I think that Penning will play one of those tackle spots. We'll see how he does. Definitely has a mean streak to him. That's all you can say anyways. But Chargers trying to bring in some offensive line help. And final trade here, we have Joe Tyron Shoyanka and a 7th to the Bears for a 6th round pick. Bears just trying to get some depth in that front four. They lost Deo Odingbeo. I said that wrong, definitely, but he's out for the season after getting a big bag from the Bears in the offseason. So now they trade for Joe Tyrone Shoyanka, former first-round pick. And again, lots of these former first-round picks getting traded here, but yeah, again, bit of a nothing trade. Bears added depth anyways after losing one of their key players on defense, but that's the trade deadline recap anyways. A few more smaller notes here to finish it off. Asante Samuel Jr. has been cleared by doctors from his injury. He got like spinal fusion surgery. I know he was like, the reason he hasn't signed is because he was waiting for doctors and like waiting to be fully healthy, and now he's fully clear. But like, spinal fusion surgery is absolutely crazy. Apparently the teams interested in him are the Packers, who again desperately need a number one corner, and the Vikings, who don't necessarily need a number one corner, but a corner like Asante Samuel Jr. will come in. Brian Flores loves his ball hawking corners. That's exactly what Asante Samuel Jr. can do for them. Again, hasn't signed anywhere yet, but he is free now to sign wherever he wants. Another sad note, I can't believe this is, I think, the 3rd straight NFL Weekly Update where I've had to talk about an NFL player's death, but this one hurts a little bit more because Marshawn Nealand, the Cowboys 2nd round pick from last year, dead at 24. Found out later in the day that apparently he was involved in a police chase. He eventually lost the cops, and then the cops found the car just kind of like abandoned on the street, and then they found Nealand dead from like a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So yeah, the 24-year-old Marshawn Nealand committed suicide, and obviously there's a lot more details to this story that need to come out. I mean, just on Monday Night Football, the Cardinals versus the Cowboys. The Cowboys block a punt, and who scores that touchdown in the end zone? It's Marshawn Nealand. Life comes at you fast. I don't know what the situation was and why he felt the need to take his own life, and I don't know if we'll ever get that answer. But the NFL, I think the NFL needs to put more resources in mental health and player safety stuff like that, because even here, this is a bit of a side tangent here, but and this is more of like a CTE related thing too, but I go to Value Village, I thrift around, duh. But I've been collecting like more hockey cards and NFL cards, and I saw a bunch of old NFL cards, which like I haven't really seen. So I'm like, okay, I'll buy a couple packs, I'll see what's in them. And I was going through, and obviously I pull out all of like the star players that I know and Hall of Famers, and I was like, okay, like that's cool. And then I'll Google everyone else, because there's obviously a lot of players that I don't know from the early 90s who, again, all of them are Hall of Very good candidates, in my opinion, or a lot of them are anyways, but because they don't meet my criteria, either way, I keep rambling. But yeah, out of, I don't know, let's say I bought 50 cards, I'd say at least 10 of those guys were like dead before 65. Due to CTE, taking their own life, other circumstances, like, it's an issue, and it's been an issue for a while with the NFL, and yeah, I don't know what these players need, but something obviously a little more needs to be done for them post-playing, during playing, like post-playing career, during their playing career. All this to say, very, very sad for Marshawn Nealand and his family and his friends, and again, positive thoughts going out to them, but very sad story, very unexpected story. A couple final things here. The Rams have signed kicker Harrison Mevis, a.k.a. the thicker kicker, sitting at 6 feet, 245 pounds. Was 20 for 21 in the UFL last year, holds the SEC record for longest kick made with a 61-yarder. To me, just based off those two things, I don't know why this guy wasn't in the league beforehand. One, just the promotional opportunities for the thicker kicker. Like, come on, but he's clearly good. He's clearly got a leg. I don't know if something happened to Rams kicker Joshua Carty for them to make this move, or Carty's just like been iffy or something like that. But either way, fun move to make. And then a couple people getting released. Steelers cornerback Beanie Bishop has been released from the team. Beanie in his rookie season, 4 interceptions for them, but now off the team entirely. I'm sure that he will sign elsewhere, looking for a new opportunity. And I don't know what really happened there between him and the Steelers, but obviously enough, because again, coming off a 4 interception performance as a rookie, you think that, okay, that guy's going to at least be there the rest of his rookie deal, but no, he gets cut halfway through his sophomore year. And then the Falcons have waived John Parker Romo, their kicker, after he missed a crucial field goal in that Patriots game yesterday or last week. Who could have saw that coming? Me, I could have saw that coming. That was not a move that should have been made ever, to cut Younghoe Koo for him, and now the Falcons are looking for their 3rd kicker this season. Again, shouldn't be hard to find 32 competent kickers in the NFL, but apparently it really is. But that is your NFL Weekly Update. Let's get into the blind Thursday Night Football recap now. It's the Raiders at the Broncos, and listen, I'd like to sit here and be like, the Raiders did it. But they absolutely didn't. This Broncos defense is far too much for the Raiders to handle. And yes, although Geno Smith looks better, and now that Brock Bowers is back, and Brock Bowers, again, proves why he is the best tight end in this league. Another 80-yard, 1 TD performance for him in this one. But it wasn't enough. It's just not enough, and the Raiders don't have enough on offense or on defense to stop whatever the Broncos wanted to do. Was Bo Nix great in this one? He was fine. Again, playing against Max Crosby, essentially, the only player you really need to care about on that defense. It was a layup game for the Broncos and Bo Nix. Bo Nix, again, he looked competent enough. Didn't have to put on his 4th quarter heroics like he normally does, because he didn't need to, because the Raiders just stink across the board. And the Broncos defense, they were able to get after Geno Smith a ton. Geno Smith coming off a 4-touchdown performance, looked kind of back to himself this season. Still 2 TDs from him on the day, but sacked 4 times, 2 interceptions for him as well. The Broncos are just better. Flat out better. The defense is better. Everything's better about them. Broncos win this one easily. 27-14 final score, and that is your blind Thursday Night Football recap. Okay, let's get into these games now. Falcons at Colts. Colts minus 6.5. Total set at 48.5. We got a Germany game. Colts kind of after... I won't even say they got embarrassed last week. Like, the final score was 27-20. They were in that game close at the end, and if it wasn't for 6 turnovers, I think the Colts would have won that one easily. But they got the Falcons, who the Falcons are coming off, again, a good performance against the Patriots. Falcons defense is up and down, and they played great last week. And the young pass rush, Brandon Dorlus, Jalen Walker, like, they were doing their thing. But now they're playing the best offense in football. And, the Colts, after not looking like themselves, went right back to what they were doing. Jonathan Taylor, another 2 touchdowns on the day. Daniel Jones, still a turnover on the day, but it wasn't 6 of them. So, an absolute win for the Colts. And, the matchup of the day was Drake London going against Sauce Gardner. And, London got the better of him a few times. Sauce got the better of London a few times. It was a good performance. Bijan, again, and like a good performance after like a couple pedestrian performances. Why am I doing my Thursday Night Football recap? Well, that was, I mean, like, the ending of that was, though, anyways. But, like, I do expect Bijan to have a bounce-back game in this one anyways. But I just, like, the Colts are just better. The Colts do have one of the better rosters in football. I do expect them to win this one, and I think win this one rather easily. Again, NFL, like, Europe games, it's always tough to tell because, again, the time change difference and the playing in a weird time and different country, like, you never really know what to expect and who will show up. But I just realized something. I don't know who the Falcons' new kicker is, but the Falcons had someone in the offseason named Lenny Krieg, who is from Germany, who, if he is their kicker, I all of a sudden have a lot more... Okay, well, nothing's been updated on him since the start of August, so maybe he's their kicker going into this game. That would be, that would honestly be pretty sick. Like, I would like German kicker kicking in Germany. I'd like that. I'm quickly looking up their depth chart here just because I do want to see who they have as their kicker. Apparently it's Zane Gonzalez, so nope, never mind. Colts should win this one, I think, rather easily. We'll keep going, though. Ravens at Vikings. Ravens minus 4.5. Total set of 49.5. This is a big game for both teams. I mean, the NFC North divisional battle is as close as it could be right now anyways, and the Vikings are right in that mix. And the Vikings defense, once Andrew Van Ginkel got back, started to look like the Vikings defense. And on the other side, Lamar, his second game now back from his injury with the Ravens. And the Ravens offense looked like the Ravens offense again. It'll be a tough matchup, though. Like, again, Ravens offense, Vikings defense, that'll be a tough matchup. And then on the other side of things, you have the Ravens defense, which is, again, looking for a bit of a spark. They've looked better recently anyways, going against the Vikings offense, which has looked okay for most of the season. It's a big game for J.J. McCarthy to kind of prove to people why he should be the guy. I mean, he's been okay so far to start his career anyways. I think that's putting it nicely. But this is a game where I just think the Ravens... The Ravens have too much juice, in my opinion, on offense for the Vikings defense to be able to do something. The Vikings defense still isn't great against the run. I will say that. And maybe this is a big Derrick Henry game where that run game gets going. We're slowly getting into Tractor Cedo season with Derrick Henry, where I think this could kind of be the start of that, where they don't really got those big boys up in the middle to stop him. Like, yes, they have Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen, but they're not great run stuffers to begin with. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to take the team with the two-time MVP on their side. Like, really. If you put it in, like, the context of it's Lamar Jackson versus J.J. McCarthy, Lamar Jackson should win that game. Again, it's going to be, I think this is going to be like a good game, but I do expect the Ravens to come out on top. -4.5, I don't know about that. That total, though, too, that total doesn't make sense to me. Like, that's 49.5, it's almost at 50. I don't think the Vikings are going to score a lot of points. Like, yes, the Ravens' defense has been really bad. They've been playing better over the last couple weeks since they came back from their bye. They've been playing a little bit better. Maybe they continue that trend. Again, they're going against J.J. McCarthy anyways. And the Vikings defense is definitely good enough to slow down the Ravens offense. So I think under in that game. I kind of like that a bit. Patriots at Buccaneers. Bucks -2.5. Total set at 48.5. Who is back for the Bucks this week? Because that is the big thing for the Bucks. God, they got a lot of guys on IR. Chris Godwin, questionable. Is he practicing, though? He's remaining sidelined at practice. That's not good. Bucky Irving, questionable. Is he practicing? Misses another practice. That's not good. Who else we got here for the Bucks that matters on offense? Honestly, like no one really. As long as Emeka Ibuka's playing, that should matter. Yeah, Mike Evans. Yeah. So the Bucks are still missing their guys. I think if Bucky Irving was playing in this one, I'd be like, okay, like. But now seeing those injuries still, this is a big moment for the Patriots in general. If the Patriots can go into Tampa, win on the road against, again, a Bucks team that I think once they get healthier again will be a contending team. Obviously, they're banged up right now, but they're going to get their guys back at some point. Where, yeah, if the Patriots can do it again on the road against the Bucks, I would be very, very impressed. People like to point to the Patriots' schedule and be like, it's been easy. Yeah, they've been beating everyone they're supposed to beat. And while there's some truth to that, the Patriots have just been playing good football in general. Again, it's a tough matchup for them. I think this will be a close game. But with no Chris Godwin, with no Bucky Irving, Ibuka's going to have Gonzo on him. Is Gonzo okay? I think Gonzo said after the game that he's okay. And with Gonzo going to be covering Emeka Ibuka like 90% of the time, I don't really know who Baker Mayfield goes to. Maybe bet on like Tez Johnson props or something like that. But I went into this game being like, yeah, the Bucks are going to win. And I think I'm changing it to be like the Patriots. I think the Patriots are the better team in this one. Again, currently week 10, the Patriots are a better team without injuries and stuff like that. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that this could be a Patriots win. Again, a very good like measuring stick game for both teams in this one, but I do think the Patriots will end up getting the better of them, unfortunately. We'll keep going. Jags at Texans. Jags -1.5. Total set at 37.5. So we saw CJ Stroud obviously get injured last week. He is still in concussion protocol. So Davis Mills is going to be the starter. Davis Mills was bad last week. Like, he came in and maybe, again, he wasn't ready, and again, like, the time and didn't have, like, the full game plan and, like, the week to prepare himself mentally. I don't know. Maybe all those things can be true. But the Texans ended up kicking 5 field goals last week. That's not good enough. And, yeah, they went against the Broncos D, and the Broncos defense is good, but the Jags defense is also pretty good. Not as good as the Broncos defense, but they still have guys like Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen and Eric Armstead who will be able to get after CJ Stroud. Now, this Texans defense is fucking incredible, and yeah, they should be able to slow down the Jags relatively easily too. I mean, there's a reason the total set at 37.5. That's a low total. I don't know. Obviously, I'm leaning the Jags in this one just because they have an actual starting quarterback playing their game for them and not Davis Mills. But, like, maybe Davis Mills can impress me. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. But, the Jags should win this one. If they don't, I got a lot of questions for next week. But for now, the Jags should win this one because Davis Mills is the starting quarterback for the Texans. It should be as simple as that, but things are never as simple as they seem. Browns at Jets. Browns -2.5. Total set at 38.5. So, Jets defense now depleted. That's tough. It's very tough. And yeah, it's kind of a kick in the nuts morale-wise for the team that, yeah, you just lost your two best defenders. And maybe some people see it as okay, it's time to make my name here. Azareye'h Thomas, who the Jets drafted in the third round, he's going to have to fill in that role. He's going to have to step up. And I'm interested with the new blood coming in on the Jets defense. If all of a sudden, if everyone's like, no, we collectively all need to play better now. Again, this is like a good coaching moment for Aaron Glenn to see how hard this defense plays in these opportunities. Because let's be real, the Browns' offense is terrible. Dylan Gabriel is not an NFL quarterback. The run game, Judkins has been good, but the Jets defense should still be able to stop them most of the time. And the Jets offense still have Breece Hall, still have Garrett Wilson, I think anyways. Is Garrett Wilson back to being healthy? He looks like he's healthy anyways. Garrett Wilson, questionable, but is he practicing? Garrett Wilson is limited in practice. To me, that means he will be playing on Sunday. It'll be tough. The Browns' defense is one of the best in football. And Myles Garrett, I'm interested to see the matchup between Myles Garrett versus these young tackles for the Jets with Armin Membu and Olu Fashanu. I mean, we saw how it went against the Patriots a few weeks ago where Myles Garrett put Will Campbell in an absolute blender. And I'm interested to see how he looks. But yeah, this is going to be a sloppy game where, again, I expect the Browns to be able to move the football against a no sauce, no Quinnen Williams Jets defense. But it won't be good enough. I think that I don't. I do think the Browns are going to win this one, but this is this is just a bad game. A really good defense versus a pretty bad offense, and then a bad offense against a bad defense. The Browns should win just because they have the one unit that's actually good at football playing in this game. Will it matter? I don't know. The other thing that's happened to the Browns is Kevin Stefanski has given up play calling duties to offensive coordinator Tommy Rees. Does that matter? I don't know. Stefanski giving up play calling duties is... I don't think he should have done it. I don't know. Start Shedeur Sanders. It is Shedeur time. Let's get on with it. Because if he sucks, he sucks. It is what it is. Saints at Panthers. Panthers minus 5.5. Total set of 39.5. Again, the Panthers should win this game quite easily. The only reason why I'm a little hesitant this week is, obviously, if you're not on Twitter, you are not aware of the podcast Meow Mix. Meow Mix is a Panthers-led podcast run by Panthers fans, and they quit. They basically gave up when the team was, I forget what they started on the year, but they gave up 4 weeks into the season to be like, this is too much, this is detrimental to our mental health. I've been doing it. It's fine. Again, I talk about everyone else, and maybe that makes me a little more positive, because if I did just talk about the Dolphins, yeah, I'd probably be a little more depressed than I am already. But they come back after, this Panthers 4-game win streak that they're on. Does that sound right? Oh, they're on a 1-game win streak. 4-1 in their last 5. That's what I meant to say. 4-1 in their last 5, and all of a sudden, oh, we're back. And that to me sounds like a jinx. That to me sounds like, Saints money line, because, yeah, these guys are coming back after, walking away to be like, we can't handle them anymore. And now that the Panthers are winning again, they're like, we can do this. Feels like a jinx opportunity. However, the Saints are bad. Tyler Shuck is bad. That offense is bad. That defense is bad. Well, at least the Panthers defense has been playing much better recently. Rico Dowdle has been a stud. The run game has been great. So, I'm not going to tell you to pick the Saints, but that's all I can say. Again, I do think the Panthers should win this one. I believe they'll win this one. They're at home too, which they've been great at home compared to on the road. Panthers should win this one. But if the Meow Mix curse is real, I guess we'll find out. Giants at Bears. Bears minus 4.5. Total set of 46.5. Again, another game that the Bears should win, and the Bears need to win to kind of keep pace in the NFC North division. The Giants have been okay. Again, we see the flashes from Jackson Dart, but he has no one that he's really throwing the ball to that's like any good. Like obviously, like Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, Theo Johnson are all like pretty good, but they're missing that guy. They're missing that guy on both sides of the ball, where I don't know if I can really compare to like how good Malik Neighbors is to like Cam Scadaboo, obviously, but like Scadaboo gave them an added element to that rushing attack that Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary just don't. Whether that's just like craziness, like that could be it. But the Giants don't have a good offense. Jackson Dart has been playing good football. I give him a ton of credit. This Bears defense is, I mean, we saw them last week. They're not good. So the Giants should be able to move the football against them. And the Bears offense should be able to move the ball against the Giants defense. But Brian Burns, leading sacker. That sounds weird. Leading sack getter. I don't know. That doesn't sound really any better to me. But he's been great. Abdul Carter, I think, is third in the league in pressures at the moment, despite having only a half sack on the year. Kayvon Thibodeau is a good player. Dexter Lawrence is still Dexter Lawrence. That secondary, though, is Swiss cheese for the most part. So maybe this is another Caleb Williams game. Then after Romo Dunze putting up 0-0-0-0 on the stat line last week, maybe this is a bounce back game for him. I don't know. Again, I do expect the Bears to win this one. But I'm not confident, and I don't think I should be confident in the Bears. I mean, again, we just saw the Bengals put up 40 points on them, and yeah, the Giants don't have anyone like Jamar Chase or T. Higgins on their team, but I don't know. I still don't fully trust the Bears, and I think that's completely valid of me. This game's going to suck. Bills at Dolphins. Bills minus 5.5. Total set at 49.5. Hammer the Bills. Absolutely hammer the Bills this week, because I don't know who's playing on defense for us. Chop Robinson looks like he's going to be out. Jalen Phillips gets traded. Bradley Chubb just really isn't that good anymore. We should have just traded him away for a bag of balls, like honestly. But I think Bradley Chubb is also injured at the moment. Rasul Douglas is looking like he's not going to play. Like, the Bills are going to kill us. Like, I think this is just there's no morale in this room anymore. And I don't know what the offense can do to be, like, functional. And I have no thoughts on anything. This game's going to be bad. And obviously, like, I don't even know where to go. I guess, I mean, for the Bills, let's see how Maxwell Harrison, he did well against Xavier Worthy last week. Let's see how he does against Jalen Waddle, I guess. And let's see, again, the Bills' run defense hasn't been great. So maybe Achane and Ollie Gordon can, like, do some things on the ground game. But this just feels like James Cook is going to run for 1 million yards against us. And he probably will. So that's going to be fun. Oh, James Cook is on the injury report, but he returned the practice, so it doesn't matter. The Bills are going to kill us. I think I would take Bills minus 9.5. James Cook, 2 touchdowns maybe. That sounds like an easy bet to me. We'll keep going, though. Cardinals at Seahawks. Seahawks minus 6.5. Total set at 45.5. Yeah, that makes sense to me. The Seahawks are going to be able to do whatever they want. Cardinals defense did look better. Did look pretty good against the Cowboys last week. Walter Nolan going to be his second game in this one, and he seems like that's improved the defense quite a bit anyways. And the Seahawks offensive line still isn't good. So Gray Zabel has been good. Seahawks offensive line has been like okay at best. I don't know. I expect the Seahawks to win just because that's what they've been doing. They've been playing great offensive ball. They've been playing great defensive ball. I just don't think that the Cardinals really have the guys on offense to really air it out. Like, I think that the Seahawks secondary will be able to cover Trey McBride or Marvin Harrison Jr. And the running backs, I mean, Amari DiMercado and Bam Knight, like, they won't be able to run the ball. I think the Seahawks win this one easy. I think this might be a bit of a blowout. I think this might be a, like, yeah, take the Seahawks more seriously, Vegas. Like, let's make these lines a little bit bigger, because I think with the addition of Shaheed on offense, I think gives them that little bit of an added boost as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Seahawks win this one pretty easy. Rams at 49ers. Rams minus 4.5. Total set at 49.5. Niners defense just keeps taking hits. I mentioned it on the recap show on Wednesday, but Michael Williams, their rookie edge, now out for the rest of the season. They didn't bring in any added edge. They brought in Keon White, but Keon White's kind of like a tweener. He can play on the interior, he can play on the outside. And this Rams offense has just been cooking. Like, this Rams offense has just been lethal. Matt Stafford is in the MVP case at, what is he, 38, 39 years old. Playing great football. Puka is a stud. Devontae Adams is still really fucking good. The run game's been good. The offensive line has been good. The defense has been playing good. It just seems like a game where, like, it's just too much for the Niners to overcome all of these things. I will look up, though, because I think that Kyle Shanahan does have the edge against Sean McVay in matchups. Kyle Shanahan versus Sean McVay record. Okay, so Kyle Shanahan's 11-7 versus McVay all time. I don't know. I just don't think the Niners have the guys, and I don't think that they're getting anyone really back this week either. Like, I don't think that, like, Purdy's not coming back. Ayuk, I thought that they opened his practice window 22 hours ago. Brandon Ayuk expected to play this year eventually. Sure. Ricky Pearsall still not practicing. So none of these Niners guys are, or at least none of the Niners offensive guys are going to be back this week. And I think that's just too much. Again, if you can stop Christian McCaffrey, which has been very, very hard to do, you can stop the Niners. And I think that Sean McVay is a good enough coach to put in a game plan to limit the damage that CMC can do. So, yeah, I am definitely on the Rams this week. I do think the Rams can definitely cover that spread as well. Lions at Commanders. Lions minus 8.5. Total set at 49.5. This is another game where I think that the Lions are going to absolutely crush them. Lions did not play their best football last week. Couldn't get the run game going. The offensive line was kind of getting picked apart by that Vikings pass rush, but the Vikings pass rush is much, much better than anything that the Commanders have to offer. So, despite the offensive line injuries for the Lions, Jared Goff will have time in the pocket to hit Amon-Ra, hit J-Mo, hit Sam Laporta, hit Gibbs, hit Monty. He'll have time. This Lions offense is going to score at will in this game, I would imagine. And yeah, still no Terry McLaurin. Luke McCaffrey out for the rest of the year. I don't even know who the Niners... It's Deebo Samuel. Not the Niners. Who is the Commanders' second receiver going into this game? That is my question. So, Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks is going to get some playing time. That's a bit of a fun one. Jalen Lane, who's a rookie, I believe. Yeah, 4th round rookie. Chris Moore, Deebo. Yeah, like, not good. Not good at all. Again, no Jaden Daniels. Marcus Mariota's the quarterback. And Marcus Mariota's, like, again, he's been serviceable. He's been pretty good when he comes in relief. But the Lions are going to win this one. The Lions are going to win this one rather easily, I would imagine, too. Yeah, I would definitely take Lions minus 8.5. Two more games here. Sunday Night Football, Steelers at Chargers. Chargers minus 2.5, total set at 44.5. Oh, sorry. I don't know why the Chargers are favored in this one. Yes, they're at home, but after the week of defense we just saw from TJ Watt and just overall the Steelers defense, they're going against an offensive line that has been Swiss cheese, and without those two tackles in, Justin Herbert's getting pressured almost 50% of the time. And yeah, despite what I've said in the last few episodes of, yes, the Steelers' defense is old. Yes, they need to produce turnovers for this defense to be effective in general. But they're going against a really bad offensive line here. Like, they will be able to make plays. And, like, they made plays against, one of the best offenses in the league last week. Where, yeah, they're going against Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen, Quinn Johnson, Oronde Gadsden. Like, this Chargers offense still has dudes. But will Herbert have enough time to throw it to those dudes? I don't think so. This seems like another game where the Steelers' defense kind of makes me put my foot in my mouth just a little bit, even though I am still right about them. Where I don't know how this offensive line holds up 4 quarters against TJ Watt, against Alex Highsmith, against Nick Herbig, against Derek Harmon, against Cam Hayward, against Peyton Wilson. Like, they're going to get after Herbert, and I think it's going to be quite easy to get after Herbert. The Steelers' offense isn't good. It's very, very average, and Aaron Rodgers dinking and dunking down the field, but the Chargers' defense is also just okay. Like, it's pretty good, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see, again, I talked about it on Monday's episode where, like, these are the games where I'm like, I don't see how this offensive line holds up whatsoever against the Steelers pass rush, but if Justin Herbert is playing at an MVP level, like he has been, he's been playing some really good football this year, he needs to continue that. He needs to really be the lead dog on this Chargers team and be the difference maker that he potentially can be. This is a big test, though, because, again, we've seen the Steelers' defense get picked apart. That secondary is not good. It's just, can that offensive line hold up enough for Ladd, for QJ, for Gadsden, for Allen to get open? Because they will be able to get open against the Steelers' secondary, but will that pass rush be too quick? I'm not really sure. I do like the Steelers in this one, though. And then finally, Monday Night Football, Eagles at Packers. Packers minus 2.5, total set at 45.5. This is a potential NFC championship game preview. The Packers just got flat out embarrassed last week. They could not move the football whatsoever. They couldn't score. It wasn't good. And now they lose Tucker Kraft, who is their best receiving weapon. And something's got to change. I think Matthew Golden is also injured, and all of a sudden that Packers offense isn't looking as good as it has been. I think in this one they will have to rely on Josh Jacobs a ton for them to move the ball. But I think the Eagles are just better. The Eagles adding Jalen Phillips in, coming off a bye as well, so they're just feeling healthier, a little more rejuvenated anyways, while the Packers are coming off like a deflating loss against a game at home that they absolutely should have won. Yeah, I don't know. The addition of Jalen Phillips will help that defense a lot. There's no one really of like the Packers receivers that really like scare me. They all do things individually really well, but again, none of them should scare anyone really. I guess we'll see what version of the Eagles offense we get too. Like, is it going to be a huge Saquon running game? Is it going to be, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, like they're getting their, like, the passing attack going? Or is it going to be a disaster class where just nothing works for them for whatever reason? Micah Parsons versus Lane Johnson. I mean, we've seen that matchup a ton, but happy we get to see it again. Him versus Mailata, it'll be fun too. But I am going to pick the Eagles just because I think that the Eagles are healthier. I think they have the better roster at this point. And I just don't know what to think of the Packers. But again, whenever I'm like, I don't know what to think about the Packers, they usually go the opposite way. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, yeah, the Packers are one of the better teams in football. So I have no idea. But I will end it here. That is the Week 10 preview. I got woodsman practice in about an hour. I got to start showing up earlier to that because I'm showing up like 5 minutes before 5:30 or like at 5:30, and in terms of the people who are there, I'm old. Like, I'm older than our coaches, which is just kind of funny to me. But all these kids, they can just go in and they can be like, okay, we're starting immediately. We're good to go because, their muscles are loose and I have to stretch. I got to get there a little bit earlier, do my warm up. So when I get there, it's not, okay, we're going in the log decking immediately where I'm rolling this 150-pound log. I don't know how heavy the log is actually, but like rolling it and then rolling it back up the ramp. Like, I need to warm up. So I will be leaving a little bit earlier than I normally do today. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, but got my reading week next week. A break will be very, very nice. We got some friends visiting us next week too. Katie's actually going to be here tonight, so that'll be fun. And then Lauren Lopez, who I have briefly met, but not really. I think I just kind of waved from a car a few years ago, but I think she's coming later next week. I have my wilderness CPR training next week, which will be fun. I don't know. Life's been good. Classes has been good. I walked around in a forest a bunch yesterday, found my trees for my compass assessment, and nailed that. I got 100% on my trees. I got 100% on my bird ID. I'm killing it. But I will end it here. As always, if you have liked this, please like, share, retweet, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Tell your friends, and until next time, peace.